Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon and anything else I usually go about on Twitter X. Later today, we'll be able to have another Dead Stranding episode later on. At this moment, I will continue to do two episodes per week until I can figure out if I can manage to do more episodes or not. But yeah, the episodes are rounding about around 2 hours from now on, give or take. It's kind of a journaling experience, let's say. I try to avoid to do any kind of major edits on the gameplay there. Again, very interesting journey, and hope you enjoy as much as I'm enjoying also. Um, and for the stuff, you got already a complete gameplay series here that from time to time I will, if they are on sale, any of the games that I already played, I will be mentioning them on the gaming deals section later on. I didn't manage to do any episode on Saturday. Uh, Again, pretty busy days from time to time that I get. But yeah, here we go. So we seem to be having another AGESA update for AM5 platforms. Um, while this new update is for the new CPUs that will be upcoming, so the 9070F, again, I think this is like the lower end. The F1, I don't think I have any kind of display capabilities in terms of like an APU side of things there. I think they are without any of those capabilities, but also some patching in terms of security stuff there. Again, some vulnerabilities that were found in the meantime, even though this one was not publicized, let's say, from the launch of this new version of AGESA. Again, as always, to keep your hardware secure for any kind of vulnerabilities is always recommended that you update BIOS stuff there, and keep it updated as best as you can. But yeah, here we go. We got a new AGESA, which is version 1.2.0.3e. But yeah, just keep your eyes on everything security wise there. In other stuff, we got again the scams will continue, especially on the second-hand market on GPU side of things, particularly on high-end ones. Again, a user thought that they bought a handful of 4090s and they were basically modified 4090s and 3080s. I think it was or four cards, if not mistaken. The first three were 3090s and 3080s modified, didn't work, and the last one was a 4090, which, again, in all that bunch, at least one was a really 4090, which was fixable for the issues that it had. I think it has some VRAM issues or capacitors and such, but similarly, they were fixed. And of course, the others, given that they were fake 4090s, supposedly the customer just will be sending back to the seller again. It's always an issue, especially with secondhand market, even though we've been seeing very rarely some issues with first party vendors. We got that situation with I think Micro Center, one of the newer stores that they opened there in the United States. Supposedly, I think was bags of whatever rice. I'm not sure. It was something that, again, in the middle of the middle packaging stuff there, the intermediaries there, somebody just took the opportunity to get themselves some 5090s. But yeah, it's a rare thing. It's something that, again, it's covered, given that is a new product. It's covered by warranties and all that stuff, even though it's annoying to receive something that it's not what you bought for, especially at the price points that we've been seeing there. But yeah, this happened in China. So it was something that this buyer in China bought out of China, these GPUs, thinking that they were something and they were not. And yeah, we've been seeing a lot of these scams because the part on the even like a normal user, again, it seems to be a little bit, unless you are a technician and you are usually handling these GPUs. You kind of know the layouts, the capacitors here, and the memory stuff there, and the certain things that are part of the GPU itself. You kind of know exactly what you're looking for to differentiate between GPUs. And as you can see here, usually the substrate also sees a lot of differences, especially here around the chip also. And again, the disposition of capacitors and all, and the power delivery stuff there. Yeah, there is huge differences between generation for generation. But even for the normal user, this can be harder to detect because again, they are not used to seeing the board itself and the disposition of all the components there. And people can be fooled by the laser engraving, which can be basically it's seemingly a very easy process of erasing or modifying the laser engraving on the chipsets there. But yeah, my recommendation, especially these higher end components, specifically GPUs, avoid buying them on the second hand. Other things that I usually don't recommend people buying on second hand is like monitors, because again, a pixel or something, if it's wrong with the monitor, it can be blamed to a certain degree on the transportation. Then everybody will try to get themselves out of the responsibility of taking the responsibility of replacing a damaged good. Um, even I again basically that are two main components. PSUs is a risk also. You never know if the PSU is working or not. Again, anything that can not be tested in situ, especially if you're dealing between two people that, I don't know, Facebook market or something like that. Again, if the commodity cannot be tested in situ while you're exchanging the material for the money, I really usually don't recommend. Again, there can be some emergencies, or the fact that people have very in terms of budgetary constraints. I always caution very much paying attention, especially the sites where you buy, and also the warranties when you do when you do the on the buy process, seeing if there is any options of like an insurance regarding that transaction. If there is, just eBay usually has a good one policy, if not mistaken, in terms of warranties. I think in North American there is one for a good site for GPUs. Again, I heard this again. Usually it's from sponsored videos sometimes, which is Jawa. I think it's a good one for GPUs, even in second-hand market. Supposedly they guarantee that everything that you'll be exchanging there through their website is it works as it's intended to. Again, there are some alternatives there. Instead of going just eBay or Facebook Market stuff that, or contacting independently of the platform itself, it removes the responsibility of the platform if you go try to contact them outside of those platforms. But as a principle, overall principle, I usually don't recommend anything being bought in secondhand. Maybe some hardware, like, I don't know, a secondhand keyboard or a mouse or something like that. But even then, you have the possibility of having failures, mainly because it's about warranties. If you buy on the shop a new product, you have a warranty associated with it, and the process of, if that product doesn't work, the process of returning that or getting the money back, it's always easier than second-hand market. But again, I understand if people have budgetary constraints. In that, I really do recommend you being careful with which platform you're going to search for this. And if there is like a vendor, a supposedly official vendor, read carefully for the feedback, even though that can be manipulated to a certain extent. But always be careful and do as much investigation as possible to avoid any kind of these situations. And again, especially, even though I know it's very hard, high-end GPUs, very much in demand products on the market at this moment, which is GPUs basically. Don't buy it secondhand. maybe like older generation GPUs might be a better alternative. But even then, I don't recommend secondhand GPUs because the way they can be disguised as something else that it's not what you are trying to buy there. On other stuff regarding the industry, it seems that PlayStation is finally opened their eyes regarding wanting more money out of PC gamers from Steam. It seemingly they are removing quietly the region restrictions for their games on Steam, especially these ones from Wario 64. Supposedly God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, Spider-Man 2, and Helldivers 2. Even Stellar Blade launched with some restrictions, but they just updated at least a week ago. They just have, I covered that, around 10 region logs, which is the sanctioned countries or officially sanctioned countries. Again, those were not getting removed because mandatory obligations with companies regarding sanctioned countries. Again, that's another conversation, but at least the because PSN doesn't work in more than 100 regions. Supposedly, they don't offer their services. Again, I'm not exactly sure. I think it has to do with some compliances on those regions itself that the PlayStation doesn't want to uh, get there and just doesn't offer the service. We've been seeing removing that on Steam quietly, it seems, and it seems that they are. I think finally understand that again they are only losing sales on those games, given that Steam has a bigger market offering for them. Hopefully, not only from these new releases that we've been having from PlayStation published games on other than the consoles there, but it seems that they are going to their back catalog of games already published there and are on Steam. They seemingly are removing the region logs, even in Helldivers 2, because it's interesting because it's a multiplayer game. It's going to be interesting to see how this will develop. Hopefully, it's not kind of a bug or something that somebody did for mistake. I don't know why, but similarly, players won on this battle. I think it has to do also by the fact that the specifically with Stellar Blade. I think Stellar Blade did good. I will cover that in a moment, but I think they are reaching the conclusion that yeah, might as well just leave it unlocked in all regions as possible. Again, they like money, like any kind of corporation. So I think in the end, that won. And again, it's good for players because if you don't have a PlayStation, and you will not have a PlayStation for me, unless somebody offered me and pay me for the PSN Plus subscription, I will not get a console, being PlayStation and Xbox. I've been a PC gamer for, I don't know, 20 plus years. And it's when you go from console to PC and you know how to deal with the usual stuff on the PC, again, you will never go back to a console. Again, the variety of games that you have at your disposal, and the fact that you can do your own thing on the PC, it can do more than it can do as much as a console plus everything else. It's something that again, consoles, I think they are a good entry point for gamers. If they don't have a lot of money, they just have a I don't know, in this case PS5 Pro, $700. You just spend there, and then you pay the monthly fee, which by itself, again, uh, you can debate that, but then you get all the deals that you have on Steam. There are constant deals, fest and next fest and winter sale, summer sale, sales roundabout all year. You can get games, excellent games, even they are older, for 90% off in some cases. Again, I don't. Again, I think this is a good move. If there is something that it's intended to be done, they can do it on the quiet side. They don't need to publicize this. That's okay, as long as these restrictions are completely removed forever. I think it's a good step in the right direction. I can understand the fact that, for example, multiplayer games, you maintain the region locks there, even though I don't think it's the most accurate step there. But given that they do this to Helldivers too, supposedly I think they will offer the services there through Steam servers, I think. I don't know, or they will create independent servers to support the Steam players there. Again, we'll have to wait and see how that will go on multiplayer games there. In continuation with PlayStation, again, these guys, one hand they do a good thing, and the other it's one step forward, two backwards to a certain degree. They are still very committed to building a live service portfolio. Concord was supposedly insufficient differentiated. Again, I think it was trying to be too much differentiated, but that's another video for another time. But yeah, Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO and president, which this guy Hideaki Nishimu, which replaced Herman Hust, which is the captain of the Concorde ship. Again, it was its baby, as he told once upon a time. Sorry. Um, again, yeah, they have supposedly a talk or whatever it is with investors, and they seem to be keeping their heads in the wrong place regarding live services. Again, especially with PlayStation, if you want to have I don't know, 10, 20 games live service, you're just to a certain point you start to try and compete with yourself. So it's a stupid approach for me, especially in long term. You're just wasting money to a certain degree because if we have like the headliners, let's say Helldivers 2, you got Destiny 2, which is not in good shape from what I understand, and even like sports games or something like that. If you have like a handful that are targeting specifically different genres, given FPS and extraction shooter, a game supposedly like Helldivers 2, the way it works is a different way of an extraction shooter, like a Call of Duty competition, like Destiny 2 is supposed to kind of be. Again, I can understand if you're reaching for very specific markets, but then if you have like two or three games that are similar to Helldivers to publish by yourself, you're just starting to compete with yourself because with again, I think they're missing the point. It reaches to a certain degree that live services are just basically competing for time of the consumer, because for consumers to have enough incentive to spend money on the microtransactions of that game, they really need to enjoy the time that they are having on the game. And for enjoying the time that they are having on the game, they need to spend more time there. And if they are spending more time in one game, they're not going to spend that time in other games, especially if they are live services. Again, it's one of those things I don't think they still don't understand. I think they assume that a person can play two games at the same time, live services. I don't know. Maybe that's what they think. But yeah, the justification, I think it, to a certain degree, they try to justify a little bit their failures of recent live service cancellation, specifically with the headliner of Concord. Again, the excuse that they use is the game was launched into a hyper competitive segment. It was not unique enough to stand apart. Again, it stand apart, all right, as a shit show of a game. But yeah, they continue hammering this one. We remain very committed to building diverse and resilient live service portfolio. Again, it's not been working for them. Concord was not the only one in the past 5 years. I think they have like in between 5 to 6 projects, live service projects that were canceled, and they don't seem to be learning the lesson here. They are chasing trends of trying to be the next Fortnite or whatever it is, and it's not going to work. In this kind of market, you can only you need to be setting trends and not chasing them because again, when you compete for time of the player, you need to be setting the trend of you're the one that's setting the trend. You cannot chase a trend because then people just don't care about second and third place. They just look for the first place in terms of where they want to spend the time playing the game there. Um, again, they will continue with this. They come around again. I think a lot of it, and I suppose this is more from Herman Hulst of justifying the failure of Concord, saying that were some challenges, and the thing here with hyper competitiveness of the segment of the market, and again, it's excuses to try to justify their failures of seeing how the market was. But they seem committed to be launching Marathon by September, I think. I don't think this game is going to be very good. We already saw the CEO of Bungie, all the shenanigans, the complaints from inside the studio. Then we got the latest one, which is the fifth in a row art asset stealing, basically, and how that thing is going, which is not good. The game itself, again, this one also doesn't differentiate itself that much from what we have on the market. Very blandish things here. There is no hook there that, at least for me, even I always I'm eternally waiting for a multiplayer service that can't get to the level of my expectation of what a multiplayer game should be or can be for me to be enticed to try that. The last one was Helldivers 2. How the things are set up there and the gameplay loop seems very interesting to me. But then again, it's a huge time-consuming thing here for live service. But yeah, it's one of those that I was willing to try out until all the debacle with the reach unlocking and all that stuff. I was really quite hesitant between taking a chance or not. But yeah, Marathon, it seems like, I don't know, it's bland. Um, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, they seem to be heading on to launch this game. I'm not sure this is going to be a good idea. I think they should, I don't know, scrap it up or delay a couple of years, put it back on the back burner, something like that. I don't know. I don't know what to do, or just cancel. Again, the only one that from PlayStation has been going good for them supposedly is Destiny 2, but even Destiny 2 had its own issues from content that was removed, and people paid for content that then was completely removed, and all that jazz. And I think players are not very well satisfied in certain things with Destiny 2. But the only one that still gives a little bit of leeway of for them to consider something good is Helldivers 2. Even that had its own issues, especially a few months after launch with the region lock and the PSN account leaking and all that jazz. Again, but I think it's picking up the pace. Helldivers 2, it seems. I think they did some good changes, from what I understand, to entice players to join the game again. But yeah, I don't see this going nowhere in terms of live service. They just need to focus like in two, maximum three live service games, and that's it. And cook those free live service properly instead of trying to scattershot. I don't know, 10, 20 projects in the back burner to try to see if one of them sticks to the wall. But yeah, is this is PlayStation at this point in time regarding live services. Then you got Stellar Blade, supposedly sold 1 million units on PC in 3 days. Again, very good. When you can do this kind of sales, it's always good to see. And then again, even the reviews seems to be pretty good on Steam, 94% positive. Um, they said that they surpassed 3 million units sold globally on all platforms. So I suppose 2 million for uh, consoles or PlayStation. It's a very decent number. Again, I think it will sell better on PC. And I think one of the reasons might be mods. Again, we got a lot of first mods or firsty mods, as you say. But I think the mods for me is more about gameplay content. Interesting enough, I saw on my Twitter feed for a skin for Eve, I think how she's called, the character with Siri. Again, we got this crossover stuff that people do. It's always interesting to see, and I think is in the in the medium to long term, we will see some interesting mods coming out. Probably, I don't know if it is possible to do like gameplay mods to be more challenging or something like that, or even like content, extra content mods. But it's always good to see that people did want this game on PC. They sold this game on PC, and it sold very well so far. So 1 million units, whatever game that you or whatever publisher, if you can manage to sell 1 million copies in 3 days, is always a good sign. But yeah, then we got a little bit more comments out of the Shift Up CEO. They are fully committed on the PC version after the PlayStation One. He talked about the sequel. Aiming for 2027, but I think people need to get a good expectation that this will probably not come in 2027. And he also talked about the world building of the first one, the issues that they had or challenges on the development process there. I think they had a reason for the main character to change clothes in story. But again, I never played this game. I never saw any gameplay of this game, so I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about here. I know there is different clothes that you can dress up for Eve. Supposedly, some of them have different stats that you can play around with. But yeah, I think they will try to focus a little bit more on the world building for the second one, it seems, and a little bit more focus on the story side of things, given that Stellar Blade, the story seems to be the weakest part. But the gameplay is king in this one, and with those exploration features also. At least that it's my perception of the game. Playing this game is going to be more about gameplay. I always like some good, challenging games. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think it will sell well, that's for sure. And the fact that even the CEO is incentivizing people to showcase their mods, because it's very interesting to see. Because people don't understand on PC modding or the mods itself, the philosophy. It's kind of a wheel that gives back to developers and developers to the mods in terms of inspiration and ideas for the games themselves. Again, if you that's why I like mods that can I don't know change a little bit the gameplay or bring new things that can inspire developers for the sequel or even to tweak around the game itself in a better way, so that then by that they can influence modders to take that feedback and also continue to improve their mods, and again then do the re-inspiration for the dev team to continue to build up upon their IPs there. I think it's a something that it's people don't, especially companies, they don't think about too much. They only see it for the reasoning of tweaking their own IPs and the legal aspects of it. Again, I understand that concern, but I think for the developers, I think in general sense, they will always like to see some mods that are inspired by the game that they did and can augment the experience and improve the experience for the players. I think there is something there to that I think should be discussed more than just the first mods or the mods for the suits for Eve to, I don't know, to a certain degree sexualize a little bit more the character there, even though she is an android. Again, I don't have anything against it. It's always a view cleaner or a taste cleanser to a certain degree from all the games that we're seeing there. But yeah, in terms of Celebrate, it's doing well, almost 200K all-time peak. It's maintained the peaks of the higher player counts there, which is good to see, at least since it's launched. Again, this will eventually drop out for all time, but it's how long it will take to drop out. It will be a good indicator if this game will continue to sell well or not. Again, it's good to see. Again, if people like this game, again, power to them. Again, this seems to be a pretty good game mechanically. Then we got, I completely forgot, I missed this one. Konami just announced a Silent Hill remake from the first one. I guess the Silent Hill 2 remake sold enough to justify them internally to start working on this one. Again, it's just an announcement that it's in development. We're not going to see anything in the next, I don't know, couple of years maybe. But yeah, again, the game sold well, or at least well enough for them to make the justification for them to proceed with the Silent Hill 1 remake. Again, from the same guys, Bluebird Team. Again, from Bluebird Team, I'm more interested about this one, Cronos the New Dawn. We've got another trailer here. I don't think it's a new one. It's the Don't Let Them Merge. Again, this game is very interesting to me. Some Geiger-esque kind of inspirations, especially on the suit side of things. Very interesting. Um, a lot of body horror. Don't let them merge. Supposedly, you need to burn them, which is a mechanic very interesting enough from the Evil Within. There was especially the first one. You had to burn the bodies. It was like a safe mode. You got the matches that you need to use to burn them, or else they could rise up again. I don't remember exactly how they could rise up. I think there were some enemies that can. I don't remember very well, but it was something that you had that thing of burning them. To I think it's to get the proper loot to a certain degree, if you want to take that chance, because matches were a very scarce in that game. So you even after killing them, you wanted to burn them to get the loot from the body, let's say, which is an interesting one. And basically here is suppose you have to burn them. I'm not sure how that resource is going to be in play. Um, but you have, from my understanding, you have to burn them to completely remove the possibility of coming a new enemy and absorb that dead body to increase their strength. Very interesting. The gameplay so far, what been being shown so far, seems pretty smooth and fluid. Very interesting. But yeah, I'm this from Bluebird Team. This is the one that I'm expecting to be a good game. At least, again, I'm not going to put my hopes too high, but it seems a good one. And as long as games are at least good, given that this is kind of an interesting idea, it takes a little bit of inspiration from in terms of the time travel, how it works. It seems very 12 Monkeys movie inspiration from there. And then you got again the very dark body horror type stuff there. But yeah, this is what I got in terms of news. And again, as usual, got some gaming deals. We got this Bionic Bay recent launch, 20% off. Again, this is a puzzle game which you can control time, and you can switch around and manipulate gravity, as you can see here. Very interesting, very positive feedback since it launched. And again, 20% off. I think it might be a good one. Then you got Children of Morta, 80% off. You got also Crypt Custodian still on sale, 30% off. Very interesting, this one. Then you got Death Stranding. Again, of course, I recommend this game. At least, I think I'm almost halfway there, and I do recommend this game. It's 60% off at this moment. I do recommend Director's Cut. Has a lot of little things that were introduced in the game that I think it will help out in your journey. Then you got Devil May Cry 5 is still on sale, 75% off. It seems to be the better one, at least that I can recall from the Devil May Cry series. And again, overwhelmingly positive feedback from everybody. So I think this is a good one. Then we got Dredge, 50% off still. We got also Okami. This is Okami HD, which is the port from the original one, 50% off. We got Pacific Drive, the deluxe edition is 50% off also. We got Planet of Lana. Again, I do fully recommend this one, especially at this price point, 75% off. I did a gaming series of this game. I don't know, the first couple episodes will give you a good idea what this game is all about, and they already announced a sequel. We got Resident Evil franchise is still on sale. I will leave all the Resident Evil games there on the description below, so you can pick and choose and complete the collection. We got Silent Hill 2 Remake is on sale, 40% off. Now it seems to be in a good position of taking a chance in buying this game. Got also Tomb Raider. This is definitive Survivor trilogy. So the Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, and Shadow of Tomb Raider. Sorry, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It seems to be a pretty decent trilogy. At least I played the first two. I did enjoy. They are pretty good games. Got the tombs and the puzzles and all that stuff. Again, the story is serviceable, at least from what I remember. I will eventually will replay all three one of these days. But yeah, it seems to be a pretty decent trilogy. And it's around 80% off in the GOTY editions of all games. Got all the DLC associated with all of them there. And then you got the Callisto Protocol. Again, mixed reviews. Again, it's a little better shape than it was. The story is serviceable. Some intriguing stuff there. Then we got the again. This is not Dead Space. This is Callisto Protocol. At 85% off, I can recommend this game. Don't need. There is no need for the digital deluxe edition. You can. It's a very decent gameplay experience. And I already did a series on this one. I managed to claim for free on Epic Game Store, but I do think around this price point is a good buy. And you can check out the first couple episodes to get a sense of what this game is about and what it tries to do. Then you got the Invisible also 45% off, and finally the Thaumaturge 45% also. This Thaumaturge is more detective or paranormal detective story there. A lot of investigation with some turn-based combats from the entities that you can see and control, if not mistaken. Very interesting what they try to do here. But yeah, this is where I wrap up for today with a plug on my Patreon for extra support as usual. Um, the extra support is more aligned for me to be able to get around and sorry, upgrade my storage solutions so I can have backups of backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunami Master out.